Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are zeroing in on one really specific date, October 13th, 2025.
Yeah, and it's not just, any old Monday.
No, definitely not. This day looks like a huge turning point. Like all the internal stuff we've been wrestling with, it seems like it's about to, well, crash into the outside world.
Like a tidal wave, exactly. If you felt like you're just sort of wading through this fog, this hesitation, this is when the universe basically changes the frequency.
Okay, so a day of reckoning, maybe? Release?
I think that's a good way to put it. We're drawing on some really detailed sources today. Le Virage des Ombres, which is all about the astrology of this date, and also the StoryScope from Tarot by High C.
Right, and our mission here is to kind of synthesize what these major planetary moves mean. We're talking Pluto doing some pretty extreme things.
Absolutely. And what that means for you, for your relationships, your sense of power, and maybe even, bigger global structures.
The main theme that keeps coming up is transformation, isn't it?
It really is. The sources are clear. We're shifting out of about 5 months of really deep internal review.
Okay.
And we're being pushed, maybe even thrust, into a time where we have to express things outwardly. It's like looking at the current draft of your life.
And deciding what needs a serious edit.
Precisely. What stays, what goes, no more avoiding it.
It reminds me of that Luma City story from the StoryScope.
Yeah.
That feeling of an invisible pulse changing, demanding something more real.
Exactly that. It's about taking that change, not just in your head, but really integrating it, on a compatible level.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this. Where do we feel it first? Usually relationships and emotions, right?
That's a good place to start. And actually, the day kicks off a 3-week cycle that, well, on the surface sounds quite nice. Venus moves into Libra.
Venus in Libra, that's usually about harmony, balance.
Right, until November 6th. It's all about charm, fairness, give and take, in partnerships, boardrooms, bedrooms, wherever.
So a good time to smooth things over. Seek balance.
Yeah, definitely. Turn up the charm, lean into honest talks, make things beautiful around you. It's that astrological nudge saying romance, connection. It's a two-way street.
Sounds almost too nice for such an intense day.
Well, here's the catch. The cosmic irony, as you put it. Almost immediately, Venus finds itself in a really tough spot. Opposite Neptune.
Okay, Neptune, that usually means fog, pollution.
Exactly. That's the crucial piece. So you have Libra wanting clarity and balance, but Neptune throws this blanket of confusion, maybe hyper-idealism, over everything. Desires get blurry.
The boundaries just disappear.
They can really evaporate, yeah. It's not just getting soft around the edges. They can feel like they're gone completely.
And that makes it hard to see things clearly, I imagine, like wanting to believe the best, even when maybe you shouldn't.
That's the Neptune trap, isn't it? It plays on our deepest wishes for perfection, for escape. It makes those red flags look, artistic, decorative.
Decorative red flags.
Right. So the advice from the sources is pretty stern here. If you're looking at a new relationship, a new deal, a big investment on or around the 13th, hold off.
Because you're likely wearing rose-tinted glasses.
Very likely. And the risk isn't just fooling yourself. It's being vulnerable because you're projecting your ideal onto someone or something else. You can't see what's really there.
Okay, so a real tension. Seeking balance, but surrounded by potential illusion. And the moon's busy too, right? Our emotional barometer.
Extremely busy. The moon's in Cancer, which is already sensitive, and it makes several key aspects throughout the day, kind of mirroring this pressure.
So it maps out an emotional journey for the day.
Pretty much. Think of it as prep for the main event with Pluto. In the morning, the moon trines Mars. That can mean energized emotions, feeling a push to act on your feelings.
But maybe needing some direction.
Right, because then, by midday, things get tense. The moon squares the sun.
Ah, that classic inner conflict. Needs versus identity.
Exactly. Your Cancer moon needs clashing with your core self, the sun. It forces a confrontation. Midday is likely when you feel that urge to just let go. Release whatever structure or idea is causing that friction.
An emotional clear-out. Sounds necessary, if maybe uncomfortable.
But then the afternoon could get a bit amplified.
Amplified how?
The moon conjuncts Jupiter, and Jupiter makes everything bigger.
Oh, right. So bigger emotional responses.
Potentially, yeah. Overreacting, maybe blowing things out of proportion, or even over-the-top sympathy. If you find yourself getting worked up over something small, well, you can probably blame Jupiter.
Good to know. Is there any relief? Does it calm down?
Thankfully, yes. The day ends with the moon trine Saturn. That's a much-needed grounding wire.
Saturn. Structure, reality check.
Exactly. Brings back emotional maturity, asks you to take the day's lessons and make them solid, actionable, and that stability is really vital because it sets the stage for the really big shift.
The main event. Pluto.
Pluto station's direct in Aquarius. This is the engine driving everything on the 13th.
Okay. Pluto's been retrograde since May, wasn't it?
That's right. 5 months of deep, sometimes really uncomfortable internal processing, facing shadows, dealing with power stuff, buried truths coming up. That whole internal review period, it ends now.
So what happens when it stops going backwards and starts moving forwards again? All that internal digging. Where does it go?
It has to go outwards. The energy flips from processing to, well, manifesting, or maybe just erupting.
Erupting.
Well, whatever transformation you tried to sweep under the rug, whatever skeletons you kept locked up during the retrograde, they now demand external expression. The sources say the subtext becomes the text, unavoidably.
Wow. So if you did the work during the retrograde,
Then this can be a really powerful push forward. You've cleared the ground, now you can build.
but if you didn't, if you were avoiding those uncomfortable truths,
Pluto doesn't really care about excuses. Transformation happens anyway. If you didn't face the truth internally, it tends to surface externally, often through, events or confrontations that force the issue.
So it's really a massive call to step up, reclaim your power.
Absolutely. A call to look honestly at where you've maybe given your power away to people, to systems, maybe just to fear,
Yeah.
and to really honor who you truly are by taking it back.
This feels incredibly personal, but the sources emphasize this isn't just about individual lives, right? This Pluto station has bigger ripples.
Huge ripples, because its influence is cranked up to maximum on this day for 2 reasons.
Okay, what are they?
First, when a planet station stops to change direction, it's like it's standing still from our perspective. Its energy just intensifies, focuses like a laser beam.
And the second reason?
And this is really critical. Pluto is also out of bounds. OOB.
Right, out of bounds. We've touched on this before. It means the planet strayed really far from the path the sun takes, the ecliptic.
Exactly. It's gone off-road, basically. And this OOB period actually started back in late August and runs through late November.
Why does being OOB make a planet's influence so extreme?
Think of it like it's operating outside the usual rules. Its energy is untamed, less predictable, often much more potent. And when the planet involved is Pluto, Lord of Death, rebirth, power, secrets, corruption.
And OOB, Pluto means?
A major societal detoxification. That's the term the sources use. Deep, uncomfortable truths about corruption in governments, in social systems, they get dragged out into the light, often quite forcefully.
Okay, so a recipe for global tension, basically. And there's something specific about the direction Pluto's OOB, isn't there? South?
Yes, this is where the historical parallels get really interesting and frankly a bit unnerving. The sources highlight a key difference. Pluto OOB North versus OOB South.
OOB North tends towards?
History suggests OOB North periods correlate with centralized power strengthening, dictators rising, collective freedom shrinking, more control from the top down.
But Pluto is currently OOB to the south, and it will be, off and on, for about a decade, from 2025 to 2035. What does OOB South mean historically?
The pattern flips. OOB South periods historically line up with the people, the collective, regaining power. Society's undergoing massive reformation. The detoxification leads to revolution, fundamental shifts in how things are governed.
And the big historical example is?
The last time Pluto was OOB South was roughly 1774 to 1795.
Which covers the American Revolution.
And the French Revolution,
Yeah.
yeah. 2 massive upheavals that completely redefined self-governance, citizenship, social structures.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't just personal editing. This is potentially societal editing.
That's the implication. It's not usually a gentle or tidy process, obviously. Reformation on that scale comes from serious upheaval. But the energy, the potential is there.
Yeah.
October 13th signals the start of a period where we, collectively, might have the power to fundamentally change the script.
That's a huge idea.
Yeah.
But revolutions are messy, right? How do we ensure this leads to actual reform, not just chaos or trading one problem for another?
That's the critical question, isn't it? And it seems to hinge on that radical honesty Pluto demands when it stations direct.
Back to facing the truth.
Exactly. If we individually and collectively stop spinning stories, refuse to get lost in that Venus-Neptune fog, then the detoxification can actually be productive. The chaos might be necessary to show what needs breaking down so something new, something more aligned, can emerge.
So the willingness to see things clearly, even when it's uncomfortable, is key to navigating the potential upheaval.
It seems so. Otherwise, the disruption could just be prolonged, undirected. We need to face the truths being revealed now.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. The personal illusions, the internal confrontations, the potential for massive societal shifts. How do we synthesize all this? The StoryScope narrative. The turning of shadows might help here.
Yeah, it's a great analogy. It talks about Luma City, this place that was stuck in that fog of hesitation. Clarity was hard to come by.
Until the planet shifted, like on October 13th.
Right, and the whole atmosphere changed. It got deeper, clearer, like ink darkening on wet paper. Conversations had more weight because people couldn't hide their motives anymore. They trembled.
And the narrative says people started seeing with something older, an awareness that lived beneath fear. That sounds like the Pluto effect, right? That internal shift making denial impossible.
Exactly. The subtext, the deceit, the self-avoidance just couldn't stay hidden. The politicians' empty words failed. The artists painting for ego suddenly saw the hollowness.
But some resisted.
Oh, yeah. Those clinging to power through fear, through control, they just doubled down, built their walls higher, trying to maintain the old reality while everything was shifting under their feet. But for most, there was release.
And the description of that release is powerful. People gathering, confessing truths they'd buried for years, betrayals, regrets.
And the amazing part in the story is what happened next. It wasn't collapse or punishment. The act of collective honesty actually lightened the burden for everyone.
The alchemy was in the telling, in the shared truth.
Precisely. And power, which the story notes we usually see as hoarded, taken by force, it started to dissolve and redistribute. It wasn't taken by a new group. It was remembered by the people themselves, re-internalized.
Leading to this image of the city glowing from within. Having turned pain into wisdom, illusion into vision, it really underscores that unlocking potential isn't a one-off thing, but this continuous unfolding.
So to sort of wrap things up, you're stepping into a major turning point. It demands authenticity from you.
While navigating those tricky illusions from Venus and Neptune.
Right. But also tapping into that deep desire for real balance from Venus in Libra. It's your entry point into this big collective detoxification. And it really requires radical honesty, personally and about the world around you.
So the energy is there now supporting you to make those edits to your life, to demand truth.
Yeah, and remembering that historical parallel Pluto OOB South, activating the power for profound change. Use the grounding energy that day, that Saturn trine, to make the truths you've uncovered real.
It really puts the power back in our hands, doesn't it?
It does, which leaves us with maybe a final thought to chew on. If the last time Pluto went out of bounds south sparked literal revolutions that rewrote governance, what ancient systems, maybe political, maybe economic, maybe even just the old systems within you, are we getting ready to challenge or redefine now based on the truths we just can't avoid seeing anymore?